Hi, Callie. Can you hear me? So today we have Callie Bradford, who's going to lead a presentation for us titled The Formula for Health and Wealth, as you guys can see. After that, we're going to jump into our poverty discussion that we didn't get to last month. And Mary's going to lead that, and we'll wrap up with some housekeeping and get you guys on your way. So, Callie, thanks for being here. You're welcome to start whenever you're ready.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. Now, real quick, will I be able to progress the slides, or do I need to just let you know when I need to progress?
You should be able to. I just have to give you control. So.
Okay.
Do you have control? Can you try it out for me?
Let's see. I think so.
Perfect. Okay, great.
Yeah. Okay, let me go back though. Let's see.
Perfect.
All right.
I'm gonna mute us so we don't get any feedback. So if you guys need anything, please let us know.
Raise your hand, send us a message. All right. Hi, everybody. I am so happy to be here with you this morning. And thank you, Maggie, for allowing me this opportunity to present my formula for health and wealth. So I've talked about this pretty much now for about a year and a half because I feel like it's always relevant and never goes out of style. And especially for us in the workplace as we are, building our careers or even looking forward to retirement, the formula for health and wealth has always been, it's a pretty simple formula. It's not hard at all. But we don't always adhere to the things that we know are fundamental for our success in life and career and our personal life, and then even in our financial success. So that's what we're going to talk about today. What is the formula for health and wealth? All right. Next, just a little bit about me. So I am a health coach, and I have been a health coach now since 2009, and I received my certification from IIN, which is the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. And during that process, I learned a lot about health, but I also came from the pharmaceutical industry, so I learned a lot about wealth as well, and building your wealth, and then also health too. So what I want you guys to do is just keep an open mind during this presentation, and remember that health and wealth is the power couple, without a doubt. Absolutely, the two go together hand in hand. And then the 3 F's that are affecting your professional and personal growth, and then how to change your life and to change your business and even your career and what you want to do later on. So here's a little bit about my story. So I transitioned from pharmaceuticals 3 years ago. I left a job that was paying me pretty darn well, made about 160 grand a year, not including bonuses, had a company car, an expense account, and I was doing really, really well. And I was a manager at that company. And I decided that I wanted to do something different. I wanted to live my purpose and to do something that I could be passionate about. So as you can see here is my little picture that I'm really, really proud of with me and Dr. Oz at a health and wellness expo. So I started doing my health coaching full time. And then I have my son here. He is now 12 years old, junior high school teenager. And I know those of you that have junior high schoolers or have had junior high schoolers who have progressed on now, you can probably totally understand what I'm going through. It has its ups and downs, but this young man is absolutely amazing. And I'm a single mom because I'm divorced. So it's me and him most of the time, but we are having a blast. So what gives me I feel the passion about what it is that I do and what I speak on are just a lot of my own life experiences, and certainly education in my professional and my personal life. And then, so with leaving the pharmaceutical industry, I actually went on to open up a juice and smoothie bar, which is downtown Detroit, which was downtown Detroit. We since closed that, but we are fully manufacturing our juice now, and the juice business is called Go Press Juice. So I like to share these things because, you know, we live in a world where there are so many opportunities for us, but a lot of times we don't always see those opportunities for what they are. And I'm here to tell you that the opportunities are vast, but we just have to really have our mindset right to be able to understand that we have the power, we can go get it, we can go achieve and accomplish whatever we want. We just have to have the right mindset to do that. So I hope that this presentation and this conversation, which I normally like for it to be, you know, back and forth and people are interactive and asking questions, but we don't have the opportunity to do that right now, but maybe in the future. So health and wealth review. So ask yourself the question, what is your net worth? And when I say what is your net worth, you know, where are you at in terms of your health? Because remember, health and wealth go hand in hand. Where are you with your relationships? Because your relationships can not only affect your health, but they can also affect where you are in terms of your business life or your education. And what we call these things are secondary food. So there's the primary food. So there's a secondary food, and the secondary food is really what we consume for nourishment to keep our bodies moving and to keep our bodies well nourished. So, you know, whatever we consume by mouth, that's called our secondary food. But our primary food is really what feeds our soul. And what we found is that what feeds our soul is how healthy are we? Where are we with our relationships? Where are we in our career and business with our wealth and financial health? You know, do we cook our own food at home or some of the other things? You know, are we happy with our educational background? Do we want to go out and do more? And you can achieve more. There was a 90-some-year-old lady that got her bachelor's degree when she was 90-something years old. So if you're not where you want to be educationally, just as a side note, you can certainly still do that. And so I say here, what matters most is not how other people see you, but how you see yourself. And a lot of times how we see ourselves is what's holding us back. It's what's holding us back from reaching that pinnacle of where we want to be in our lives. All right, so we know that life is certainly a marathon and not a sprint. We don't always get to where we want to be right out of the gate. You know, we start running, we're out of the gate, and we don't necessarily make it to where we want to make it. However, it's never too late. It's never too late, and I call it a race or a marathon versus a sprint. And so if we keep that in our mind and realize that, you know what, I'm not going to always reach the goal. I'm not going to always be the first, you know, to get to the finish line. However, it doesn't matter as long as you get there. If that's in your mind that you want to be in a certain place, as long as you get there is all that matters. And how you get there, when you get there, it is all determined by you and nobody else. All right. So that's the other thing I want to implant in you all. Manifesting what you desire and sometimes what you don't. So what I like to talk about here is that sometimes we have in our minds where we want to be, and we don't necessarily have the goal set to get there. We don't necessarily know how we're going to get there or who we are going to need to help us get there, because we all need people. And then there's times when we have this inner voice in our heads where we feel like we are not good enough. We're not good enough. And so when you tell yourself that I'm not good enough, I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, you know, my hair isn't right, whatever the case may be, whatever we're telling ourselves, and I call these our I ams, we're manifesting or manifesting in what we say, what we eventually will experience in our lives. And I know sometimes people find this kind of hard to believe, but it's really true. It's really true that whatever you say that you want to be and become, you have the power, but you just have to let your mind um, take you there. Your mind really does have to take you there. And sometimes we manifest what we don't desire, right? And so I'm going to use this as an example because this is an example of my own life, because I'm divorced now. And throughout my marriage, when things would get tough, and not all the time, but throughout my marriage, periodically, I would just say, you know what, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. And I would say these things in my mind, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. And then once you start to verbalize that to your spouse, or even let's take it a step further, put it in the universe that I want to be divorced. Guess what? You'll end up divorced. But you can liken that to your finances and your resources too. So if you have a thing about money, that money is always eluding you, that you are not financially secure, and that you'll never be financially secure based on what we've been taught as we were growing up, then that is what you will manifest in your life. But if you tell yourself, my finances are amazing, I am prosperous, I have all the resources that I want in abundance, then you set forth to make those things happen, then you manifest those desires as well. So I hope you all get what I'm saying. Sometimes we manifest the things that we desire based on the things that we say, based on the things that we feel. And sometimes we manifest the things that we don't want because of the things that we say and the things that we feel. And so I guess for this particular side, just kind of take away that you have the power within you to make and create the life that you want, create the success that you want, create the programs that you want, whatever it is that you desire, you have the ability to do that. All right. So health, what is your belief about health? What has your experience been? Who is the person that has shaped your belief? So here's an example for you. And I hear this all the time as a health coach. And a lot of you all can probably attest to this. You can raise your hand if you can attest to this. But everything breaks down when you turn 40. How many of y'all have heard that? And I know you're not, everybody's muted, but I'm pretty sure 9 times out of 10, the majority of you all have heard that saying that, oh, everything goes downhill when you turn 40. You have no control over your health and what's going to happen, and the aches and pains and everything's going to start happening. Well, guess what? I'm 45 and I am not saying that everything goes downhill. I'm like, it's only going uphill from here. So it's all about what you believe. Do you believe that you have the ability and the power to change your health status? So if you've got high blood pressure, high cholesterol, the doctor said maybe you need to lose a little bit of weight, or you've been diagnosed with diabetes, or whatever the case may be, what is your belief about that? Is your belief that, what, I got to just take this pill for the rest of my life and I'm never going to be completely healthy again? If that's your belief about health, that you don't have any control by what you put in your mouth, by doing exercise and by speaking positive things over your life and doing positive things, and guess what? That's what's going to happen to you. Your health will be on the decline because you believe that after 40, everything goes downhill. Everything goes downhill, but I'm here to tell you that it doesn't. And then we also have our beliefs shaped by what a person has said, what people have told us throughout the years that weren't necessarily true, or it could just be based on their own experiences. And so, I'm here to tell you right now that, I've changed a great deal over time. Some of the things that I was taught when I was growing up, I kind of found out were not true, whether it relates to health or my personal life or, my belief system. And I had to kind of go and figure things out for myself. So, what's your belief? What experience have you had or person that has shaped your belief about this particular issue? My grandmother had diabetes since I was 9 years old, and she's since passed on, bless her soul. But, my belief was that you could not take control of your health, and that I was going to be basically, getting older and have all these health issues that I had no control over. But guess what? When I was 30, I had a lot of health challenges, and I took control of my health by eating better and exercising, and now I'm the perfect picture of health. Everything that the doctor said was going in the wrong direction has now gone in the right direction, and I've never felt better. So I just want to encourage you to reshape your belief systems about, your health, your relationships. Do you believe that you can have a great relationship? Do you even believe that you deserve to have a great relationship? And you're wondering, how does this really play into what we're talking about today? You all being with the Michigan Nonprofit Association and the VISTA program, how does that tie in? Well, your relationships definitely tie in. As I stated earlier, relationships are part of your primary food. So if your relationships, whether it be your love relationships, your friend relationships, or even your family relationships, if those things are broken, need mending, or not where they need to be, you've got some toxic people in your life, you may not be basically living the life that you really want to live for yourself, because you're focused on this relationship or this thing in your life that really isn't going in the right direction. And the thing about relationships too is that we have to realize that, and I was one of these people, trust and believe, I was one of these people who thought that even family members, like, you're just supposed to take all of their crap and let them load all of their stuff on you your whole life because you were related to them. And that is not true, but that was certainly my belief. But I have sent a lot of people, what, I love you, but I'm going to love you from over there. I'm going to love you from a distance, love you from the balcony. I'm going to love you from afar, because that is what it's going to take for me to be whole and happy and well. So, again, think about your relationships. Just because that person is related to you does not mean that that person is meant to be on this life's journey with you, side by side, walking hand in hand. And I've since learned that. And I just wanted to impart that to you as well. So love relationships, family relationships, and friend relationships certainly do have an impact on our belief system and what we think and how we feel, and really even in our career ultimately. All right, your career. So, I've already talked about a little bit about myself and my career goal. So when I started out, I wanted to be in the pharmaceutical industry. I loved everything about it. I think I loved the freedom. I loved the financial part of it. I knew a lot of people that were in pharmaceuticals, and I was like, that is what I want to do, because I am in my late 20s, and who knows if I'll ever get married. That's kind of the mindset that I had back then. So I need to be able to make the kind of money that I need to make to be able to live according to the lifestyle that I wanted to live. Now, when it comes to who has shaped your belief about your career. So think about this for a moment. Back in the day, even before I was born, not as much now, but back in the day, people would go to one career, get one career, and you would be at that company, for 50 years until you retired. And that was pretty much how it went. And that was the expectation. Your family expected that of you. Your parents probably said, and may even still say to this day, you need to have a career that is stable, that will be around for a long time. You need to go to a good company, get some good benefits, and you need to stay there until you retire. How many of y'all have heard that story? And I certainly have. But the change came for me, like I said, when I was in pharmaceuticals, and I just did not want to do it anymore. I wasn't passionate about it. There was no amount of money that they could pay me to still be passionate about it. I knew I wanted to help people, and I wanted to help people to heal mind, body, and spirit. And so I decided to leave that. But one thing I will impart to you as an example is that I told everybody after I did it, because I didn't want anybody talking me out of leaving my lucrative job, but I didn't want anybody to talk me out of it. And I remember calling one of my relatives who's very close to me. She's like a second mom, and she said to me, "Are you sure this is something that you want to do? Will you be able to live the lifestyle that you currently lived?" And it was kind of like a wah wah wah. You start to shrink and feel like you're that 10-year-old kid again, and somebody's telling you what to do, or you're disappointing your family members. But I had to say to her, I said, you know what, this is my life and this is what I want to do. And whatever the future holds, I know it's going to be great. And I'm going to embark on this journey. So, certainly do not let anyone push you into a career that you don't want to be in, tell you that you've got to do certain things that you really don't want to do in life, because ultimately this is your life. You only have one life to live, and I want you to live well. So again, think about, what are your beliefs? Are your beliefs shaped by something that you honestly believe, or have your beliefs been shaped by, your family members or just people that you were around when you were growing up that told you that you had to do a certain thing in your life? Because I'm here to tell you that that's certainly not true. You can do whatever it is that you want to do, and you don't have to do it to please somebody else, because you'll end up being miserable. And again, this is how you grow. You grow into becoming the person that you ultimately want to be, because you are making these decisions that are for you and for you only. Finances. So this is a big one. So finances. Are you on the road to financial freedom? Do you believe that it is possible? Now, I'm not going to get political by any stretch of the imagination. However, there are people that believe that because a certain president comes in office, whether it be our current president, the president before, or the president before him, that when a certain president gets in office, or people of a certain political affiliation start to control things, that their finances are all of a sudden going to be controlled. Now, to a certain degree, decisions are made that don't necessarily help us. However, if you have that belief system that my finances are now going to be controlled by the Wizard of Oz out there pulling all the purse strings, and I'm not going to be able to make the kind of money that I want to make in life, then that's what you will end up with. That's what you'll end up with. And you won't be able to kind of get yourself out of that off that financial rat wheel that we sometimes find ourselves on. And then what's your belief? So what did your parents impart to you about financial freedom? Did they talk about, saving? Did they talk about mutual funds and investing in stocks and getting involved in stock groups and that kind of thing to be able to save your money? What were your experiences and how were your experiences shaped? Now, just because, and I grew up in a family where we didn't talk about finances. My mother was a single mom and she was a teacher, and she lived from paycheck to paycheck because my father passed away when I was 9. So we never talked about finances. So the road to financial freedom came for me after I was well in my 20s and got into the pharmaceutical industry and started to learn more about finances and how to save my money and how to not spend more than I bring in, and how to build a nest egg for my family and that kind of thing. So those things can be learned, relearned. And just because you were taught one way when you were younger doesn't mean that that is the way that you have to constantly be as you move forward in life. Because really life is all about growth, y'all. And we do have to take the opportunity to grow in every way. Again, in our health, in our finances, and also in our relationships. Food. Food is a big one. So food is a big one. And what I say here is, how does your mind game affect your choices? Remember, I said the food that we consume is our secondary food, but our relationship with food, how we feel about food, that is our primary issue. So some of us, and I would venture off to say a lot of us, have a relationship with food that we eat because we're sad, we eat because we're happy, meaning we go to a birthday party, a bar mitzvah, an anniversary party, just a hanging out party, and there's always food around us. So everything that we do in our culture is always surrounded with food. And the right kind of food, or the wrong kind of food, let me say that, it can affect your choices. It can affect your choices in a lot of areas, because really the food that we consume does affect our brain function. Sugar, for example, I'll give that as an example. So sugar affects the same center of the brain that cocaine affects, for example. And so it affects that center of the brain, which is the happy part of the brain. It gives you some serotonin where you feel happy and elated after you consume sugar. However, sugar is is a high chemical kind of additive, and so it can affect your choices and what you do and don't do. All right, so this is a bill. So, if we consume a ton of sugar, we go to the lunch break room at 3 o'clock and we grab that Snicker bar and we're eating a ton of sugar and then consuming a lot of soda. Then you go back to your desk and you're trying to think. And how many of y'all have experienced this brain fog, or like this guy here in the picture in the visual? He's like, I'm pulling my hair out. I can't even think straight. So you have lost the ability temporarily because of food that you consume to really be able to process the information that you need to process. So that's why I say it can affect your mind game. For sure, it can affect your mind game. All right, what else does food affect? So this is just giving you some options about the different types of choices that we make. So caffeine certainly affects our function. And I know some of y'all are saying, but I gotta have my caffeine first thing in the morning to be able to function properly. And I totally get that. I totally get that. But it's okay to have it, but maybe not put as much sugar in it, or maybe not have your regular cream or something like that in it. So these are just some of the things that I expand upon when I'm in doing other classes. But, I don't want you all to be the people down here on the corner that you can see as I build this slide, where they're like, at each other's throats because of the choices that they made and the food that they ate. So are you consuming lots of green leafy vegetables and lots of, starchy vegetables like broccoli and green beans, are you eating raw foods? All those things really do affect the overall health of our brain and not just our body. So just know that processed foods that have high chemicals, sugary foods, and even too much caffeine, too much alcohol will affect our ability to really think things through as clear as we need to think those things through. All right, just checking to see if anybody has any questions here. If you have a question, you can leave it in the chat and I can answer the question for you. So this is just a follow-up. Your genome reacts to everything from sleep to emotions to stress to exercise to movement to breathing to food. So your genome means, your cells, your body's DNA. It is really affected by everything. So if you're not sleeping well, you're being affected long term. If your emotions are all over the place and you're stressed out, stress can kill y'all. Did y'all know that stress can kill you? Stress can absolutely kill you. We've had people that have been completely healthy, no other issues at all, but they had a highly stressful situation going on, or they had a highly stressful job. They call these people kind of type A personalities, where they just take on way too much and they're stressed out every day of the week, every minute of the day, every hour they're stressed out. And that does cause some inflammation in your body, which can cause you to have some heart issues. And the next thing you know, you're not feeling good and you end up in the hospital with a heart attack. And you're like, but I run 5 miles and I'm eating well. But you know what? You're not handling stress well. So my thing to you all is to make sure that you have your self-care in order, your self-care. And what are some things that you can do for self-care? So for the ladies and even for the men, getting like a manicure, pedicure, that's like part of my self-care. I get massages every once in a while. Whatever it takes, listening to music, meditating at your desk, meditating before you get out into the field, kind of meditating on how you want your day to go and to just kind of breathe and let it all out, right? So that's important. All right, so we talked about the 3 F's. So function, going back to the beginning, examples of the lies that we tell ourselves. I am not pretty or handsome enough. I am unworthy. I don't have the time. My past affects my present. My past affects my present. So no matter what you've done in your past life, that is the good thing about waking up every single morning, every single day, that you have the opportunity to do it over, right? You get a do-over every single day that you are living on this side of the dirt. So just know that no matter what you've done in your past, that you have the ability to change the trajectory of your life moving forward. Things that we all have done, things that we're not proud of. We all have said some things that we're not proud of, but don't let your past life control you and affect who you are ultimately, because it has zero control only if we allow it to. All right, I can't. I can't. How many of us say I can't a lot? And you may not even realize that you're doing it, but this is the function of our lives. This is how we function in our everyday lives. And we're saying these things to ourselves like, I can't. And I want you to take that T off I can't and always say I can. And even if for right now, it seems like it's a challenge, you know what? Say right now, I'm having challenges reaching this goal or doing this particular task, but I'm going to conquer it. And I'm just going to say what I can later on. I can later on. All right. So just put that in your vocabulary. Say, I can do it later on, just maybe not right now. So take the T off of can't, and we're going to take that and throw it away and roll it up and put it in the trash and stop saying I can't. And then I am not, I am not. So we tell ourselves again every day that we are not worthy, we are not happy, we are not this, not that, not anything. And at the end of the day, you are somebody and something, and every single one of us is put on this earth for a particular purpose. And you just have to, you figure out what it is as you go along, and just know that you are everything that is required for you to go out and be great. And I'm going to leave it at that. So everything that you are, you already have the requirements of what it takes to go out and be great. Okay. All right, law of attraction. So again, this is just more of what we already discussed earlier. So law of attraction, your thoughts create your reality. So just to take it a step further, your actions, your words, your feelings, your convincing beliefs. So if we say that we want to lose weight, but yet we're not going to the gym, we're sitting on the couch every day watching television, or we're not getting out to just simply walk around the block or whatever it is, dancing. There's so many different forms of physical activity that we can participate in. But if your actions don't line up with what you say that you want to do, then guess what? You won't be able to accomplish, at least in that particular short order, what it is that you want to accomplish, because your actions don't line up. So, write down your goals and make sure that your actions are lining up with the person that you say that you want to be, with the goals that you say that you want to accomplish, with what it is that you want to be in this world. And remember, your words do matter. Words matter. And the words that you speak over yourself, the words that you allow other people to speak over you, things that you believe, your thoughts and your feelings, all those things play a part in attracting either what we don't want in our lives or what we do want. And we are about attracting what we do want in our lives. And I just want to give you the tools and the resources to be able to do that. All right. So we talked about fitness being a big part of it. What does fitness do for us? It kind of activates our swagger. It makes us feel good about ourselves. I remember when I exercised daily, but when I was kickboxing, I felt so strong. I was like, yes, 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 I can do it. I felt so strong in everything that I was doing because of the kickboxing kind of made me feel empowered. So I kept doing that. In fact, I've been saying that I'm going to get back to it. Although I'm working out, I do need to get back in the gym and start hitting some stuff now. So, ask yourself and look at the most successful CEOs. What do most successful people and CEOs even have in common? 9 times out of 10, they're very physically fit. They do have some kind of workout regimen that they adhere to on a regular basis, no matter what, no matter how high they are up in the company, no matter where they're traveling to, they try and adhere to some type of physical activity. And that's really one of the things that most successful people have in common, because I feel like it kind of likens it to, if you have the discipline to keep yourself physically fit, then you have the discipline to go out and do amazing things in your career, even in your relationships and your volunteer life and that kind of thing. So fitness activates your swagger. Remember that, because it does change our whole mindset and how we feel about ourselves. All right. The next slide, work energy and power equals momentum. So you put in the work, you have the energy because we're exercising, we're putting the right things in our body that is going to create the power that we have, the power in our mind that creates the momentum to move forward and create change, right? So that's what we do. Work, energy, power equals momentum, and that is what is going to create change. But take some practice sometimes. If you're in a place where you're feeling stuck, you know, which I hear that a lot from people, they come to me to talk about their health, and then we find out that there's some kind of issue in their life that is causing them to be stuck, whether or not it's personal relationships or not being able to get, you know, past beyond the past of what somebody said to them. I've even had clients who literally after 6 weeks of a session, they've had a breakthrough finally and realized that, you know, she's 53 now, and a teacher told her in the 6th grade that, you know, she was not attractive and she needed to get a good job because she's probably never going to get married. And so she carried that her whole life. And once it came out that that was part of the thing that was holding her back in relationships, because she didn't think that she deserved to be in a wonderful relationship with an amazing person. Once she figured that out, she let it all go. There were tears, and I was crying, she was crying. But you know, sometimes we're letting things that we don't even realize really hold us back. So remember, we put in the work. We have the energy. The energy is created by what we put in our body and how we're physically fit. And then power, which is the power of the mind, body, and spirit. And then it creates the momentum for us to move forward and create change. Okay. All right. So here is some homework for you guys. So change your mind and change your life. Okay. So what I want you to do, and I want you to do that today. I want you to do it today because sometimes we walk away, and even if you have time before you head out for the day or whatever it is that you have going on, I want you to write down what you want in life, in your career, in your relationships, and even in your finances. Write down what you want in your life and prioritize those. So if you want a better relationship or just a relationship period, write that down as your number one. If you want to, you know, eventually get a different career, or in the current career that you're in right now, you absolutely love it, but you want to move up the ladder with your current company, you know, set that down as a goal. You know, what are your financial goals? And don't wait until January like everybody else does. Let's do it now. Let's do it now so we can get a jump start and make this a part of our change life. You know, everything that we can do to change to be better and greater and really live the life that we're meant to live. All right. And then number two, I want you to set goals and actions toward achieving them. So remember, a goal always has to be something that is attainable, something that you have literally written down. Because if you haven't written it down, y'all, I'm just here to tell you it's still a dream. It won't be reality. It's just a goal. It's not something that you really even fully intend to do if you have not written it down. I hear people say, but I have it in my mind. No, I need you to write it down. Goals, write it down so you can visualize what it is that you want every day. And you can even post it somewhere where you can see it, put it on your computer, put it on the dashboard in your car. I post the stuff on my bathroom mirror. So the first thing I do when I get up in the morning is I see, you know, all the things that I want to accomplish. So make sure that those goals are achievable. So set goals, set small little incremental steps toward achieving them. So if you are a person that lives paycheck to paycheck right now, you know, a goal for you may not be to make $200,000 in a year. A goal for you may be, I want to have $100 saved every month in my bank account, something to that effect. So, you know, you will write down what that goal, so financial freedom, and then what are the things that it's going to take for you to get there. And I'm writing this down right now. So one would be to save. One thing would be to save. So we're going to save and just disregard my little Scrabble right there. And then put how much you're going to save. So I'm going to save $100. All right. So I'm going to save $100 in a month. Every month for the next 12 months, I'm going to save $100. All right. So we set the completion dates, right? Keep positive affirmations all around you about what you want to accomplish and who you are ultimately. You are not the person that you're telling yourself that you're terrible, that you're never going to make it, that you can't be financially free, that you don't deserve the love of your life, that you don't deserve to have this amazing career. You are not those things. You are just the opposite. You deserve the very, very best. And I want you to keep those positive affirmations all around you. A young lady used to work for me when I was in pharmaceuticals, and she had the most amazing outlook on life. And she was not a person that did not have challenges, because we all have them, right? We all have them. And she faced some really, really big challenges in her life. But she decided that, you know what, I'm not going to let this define me. And every day she had a goal of where she wanted to be in sales and in her career. And I remember her saying to me, well, I want to be the #1 rep, and I want to go on the big, President's Club trip. And I said, okay, so what do we need to do to make it so? So we wrote down some actionable steps, and she placed those things on her dashboard every day of what she needed to do to get herself closer to the goal. And she did that every day. She wrote down a different affirmation. She posted it on the dashboard in her car, posted it on a mirror, in her bathroom at home. And guess what? At the end of the year, she made the President's Club. She actually won the big trip. And that was because she remained positive at all times, even when life starts to kick us and we feel like, oh my gosh, woe is me. This is like the worst, terrible thing that could happen to me. You know what? There's always somebody in a worse position. I was just looking at a documentary, and it really did break my heart about Haiti, where people are so poor in Haiti that they're starting to eat these like mud pies, which is just, it really does break my heart. And here we are complaining because I can't get to work and my car broke down. It's like, you know what? We have a roof over our heads. We have good food to eat. We have clean water. And the fact that our car broke down, we got money in the bank to even get our car fixed. And I find myself doing it too. I got to go take my car to get a new tire, and I don't want to do it. I don't have the time, and I'm complaining. But think about it like this. There's always somebody that has it worse off than you. And as long as you have 2 legs that work, hands that work, a mind that thinks, and the ability to go forth and create change in your life and really be a positive inspiration for somebody else, and that's what we should be doing. So keep affirmations all around you. Create new habits in 21 days. I want you to exercise. Think about what you do for your personal growth. One of my favorite books right now is called You Are a Badass. Living the life that you deserve, and really understanding that you are just that. You are an amazing individual, and you just have to think it so you can be it, and then go out and do whatever it is that you want to do. All right, so your personal growth is important. So whatever that is, I look at YouTube videos. I look at Goldcast right now. I don't know how you all are familiar with Goldcast, but Goldcast is like a website, and they have tons of YouTube videos that are all inspirational, which can help you daily. And I start with that first thing in the morning. So get up, I look at my positive affirmations, I pray and I meditate, and then I look at a positive video, or I listen to it in my car when I'm driving to wherever I need to drive to for that day. So meditate, pray, and eat better. So change your actions, and then you will certainly change your attitude. All right. So proper food, fitness, and function equals success. Change your attitude and change your life. And that's all that I have for you all. And I want you to stay connected with me. If you want to send me your goals, you certainly can do that. And I can help you to walk through those goals and set some actionable steps that you can actually measure and say, you know what, I did this. I accomplished this goal. It could be, I want to lose 2 pounds, and that's perfectly fine. Don't let anybody tell you that a goal is too small or too lofty, because there's no such thing. Whatever it is in your mind that you have that you want to accomplish, you can do it. All right, so you can reach me at 586-944-8798, or you can email me at Callie@transformforwellness.com. And I also have a website at calliebradford.com. You can follow me on Twitter too. All right, so that's all I have, Maggie.
Perfect. Do we have any questions for Callie before we continue on to our next segment?
I think I did good on time, right? Am I okay?
Yes, perfect. Yep.
Okay, awesome.
I have a question for you, Callie.
Yes.
My name is Zakia. I'm a Vista leader. You can't see me, so
That's all right.
I'll explain that it's me and not Maggie who's talking. So I'm trying to implement a bunch of these kind of principles in my life, and I find myself getting overwhelmed with as many changes as I want to make. So it's like, make sure you get enough sleep. Don't eat any sugar. Work out 3 times a week. And I'm wondering, being on a Vista budget, so we earn about poverty wages, and many of us are in school or work second jobs. What do you think is the best practice for jumping into kind of transforming like our mindset around health and self-care? Do you think that there is one like low-hanging fruit that we should reach for first that we can get a bunch of benefits out of without spending a lot of money or time doing to kind of catalyst the success?
Yeah, that is a great question. So I would say first it starts with your mind. It starts with your mind. So you have to have your mindset where you know that you can accomplish these things, right? That's the first thing. So you do that by A, surrounding yourself with positive people that believe the same thing, that have the same belief system that you do. And then B, filling your brain with these types of things that continue to reinforce for you what it is that you want to accomplish. So like I said, even, listening or looking at YouTube videos, which is completely free, it doesn't cost us any money to do that. Sign up for these Facebook groups that are positive that can help you to get where you want to be. And I always feel like exercise is a big thing. And so there's lots of groups that you can even join that is free. You just meet up at a certain destination and you can start, at your own pace, jogging and running and that kind of thing. But the first thing really is to have your mindset right, because then once your mindset is right, by filling your brain up with all these positive things that people are saying, and then it starts to become part of who you are, and then it makes all the other things easier for you to accomplish. And then the last thing I would say for that is don't bite off more than you can chew. If there's one thing that you find in your life that is the most important for you right now, I want you to focus on that and focus on that solely, and then add other things to it once you have mastered that one thing that you feel like, this right now is completely out of balance for me. I want to focus on that. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We have a Vista Schwartzen who says that he had the same question as me. So I am glad. He says it's hard to save money when we're living on a budget day in and day out. But he says keep up the great work, and you've got a great system going on.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. But yeah, even when you're on a budget, just start to expand your mind in terms of, other ways that you can create an income for yourself, because there's so many ways to do it. I mean, I look at these Instagram folks that are making like hundreds of thousands of dollars just by being on Instagram, and I'm amazed at that. But I feel like that's a perfect example of it just depends on what we think and believe, right? So if we believe that there's scarcity, if we believe that we don't have the ability to, do all these other things, or that there's a lack of resources, then we'll have a lack mindset. So it starts in our mind first. So like I said, get yourself some of those YouTube videos, subscribe to those YouTube videos. Literally, even though I go all around and I'm talking about health and wealth and other things, I listen to a YouTube video at least once a day, if not twice a day, or 3 or 4 times, depending upon how I'm feeling. So that is important. That is important. Fill your mind with positive stuff. All right. Any other questions?
Perfect. Any other questions, guys? I don't think so. We have one comment from Trish who says that she changed her mindset and feels much better. She's controlling arthritis without medication now because she's changed a lot of what she's eating. So she's doing good. If you guys
that makes me
are
happy.
interested in hearing her story, I'm sure that she'd be happy to share it with you. But she's made some big changes and doing great for her. So thank you so much for joining us today, Callie.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Callie.
You're welcome.
Another leader with Maggie. Thank you, Callie.
You are so welcome. You guys have a good rest of the day, okay?
Yep, you too. Bye.
All right, bye.
Okay. How many of you would be super bummed out, raise your hand, if we push the poverty discussion back another month? I know it's a really big decision, so I'll give you a second to raise your hand if you need to. Oh, Schwartzen. Yeah. Thanks, Schwartzen. I appreciate your enthusiasm, Schwartzen. But we're still going to do it because we've got 6 minutes left, and I'm sure that some of you guys have some things that you have to get back to. And we're going to lead a post-PSO training today, so we have some things to do too.
Yeah, we have a new Vista with us in the room with us.
Yes. Yep.
Her name's Morgan, and she's with Battle Creek College Access Network. Do you want to say anything else?
Nope, that sums it up. Okay.
Yeah, great.
Hi, Morgan. We do have some other things. Trish says welcome. I just read your name is Patricia. I logged in, Trish, and I said, who's Patricia? I was like, oh, wait. Okay, we do have some housekeeping, though, that we need to go over before we let you guys go.
Yep, so if you haven't already turned in your monthly reports and timesheets, you are naughty and in trouble with us, and they were due last week. So send them to Zakia or Mary today if you haven't done that yet. If you also haven't marked this in your calendar yet, February's webinar has changed. It's now February 10th instead of February 3rd. We've started doing our site visits, so let Mary and Zakia know your food orders so that way we can plan ahead and provide you with some yummy food, even though we won't be able to get to eat it with you. And then the last thing is remembering about the time off site request form for the holidays, and that we talked about this at post-PSO, but I know you guys are getting a lot of info that day, and it's been a couple months since we've done that for most people. So if your site closes down during the holidays, you still are required to serve. Now, you can choose to take your vacation time during that time, and then it's no big deal, or you can fill out a time off-site request form and send it to us. And then I have to submit it to CNCS so that they're aware of when you won't be at your site, but still serving. And I need to have that by December 15th, which is next Friday. So that's your official heads up. I'm literally typing an email right now to your supervisors to give them that info as well. So that's it for housekeeping on my end.
Okay. Yeah,
and we have Detroit Regional Training tomorrow, too.
Yeah. Also, guys, February 10th is Saturday. Thanks, Trish. It's definitely February 14th at 10 a.m. So you guys will all get to spend your Valentine's Day with me. You're welcome. Send me chocolate and flowers. Fair enough. All right. Anything else?
No, that's all I was gonna say was, Trish says the 10th is Saturday.
That was my fault.
We should check the email, too, and make sure the email says the 14th and not the...
Probably it said the 10th, so that's what I looked at.
Okay.
So it's the 14th. I'll send out another email to you guys. It will also be in the weekly update for the entire month of January. So no excuses. Y'all should know, and you guys have enough time to rearrange your schedules however you need to.
Think he's on it today.
Yeah. So we're going to let you guys go. Feel free to head out. We'll stay online for a second if you guys have any questions. Otherwise, have a great day, and make sure you guys put into effect that work on, that comment on relationships during the holiday. So you might be around people you don't want to be, love them from a distance.